Welcome to UK Voices 22. The lights of the Graham Norton Show are always bright, but on this particular night, they burned hotter than usual. Meghan Markle, dressed in her carefully curated designer gown, believed she was stepping into yet another carefully controlled media appearance, a chance to charm, to play victim, and to reclaim the spotlight she feels slipping away. But instead of the fawning adulation she craves, she was met with something entirely different. A piercing moment of truth, courtesy of none other than Dame Helen Mirren. Known across the globe not only for her acting mastery, but also for her razor-sharp tongue and fearless candor, Helen did not mince her words. In a moment that left the audience gasping and Meghan visibly rattled, Helen delivered a brutal comment that cut through Meghan's carefully built façade. What she said wasn't just controversial, it was devastating. And for Meghan Markle, whose entire narrative depends on controlling perception, this was the kind of public humiliation that lingers forever. This wasn't just a passing quip. It was a thunderous reminder that the world isn't buying Meghan's act anymore. The curiosity now is obvious. What exactly did Helen Mirren say that left Meghan speechless? Why did Graham Norton side with Helen, and why did the studio audience erupt in a reaction that Meghan didn't anticipate? Those questions form the storm cloud that hung over this unforgettable night. But to understand why Helen's words landed with such devastating force, we have to step back and look at the bigger picture, the years of manipulation, the relentless victimhood narrative, and Meghan's ongoing attempt to reshape the monarchy's legacy in her own image. For years, Meghan Markle has mastered the art of portraying herself as the misunderstood outsider. From the Oprah interview, where she cast the royal family as villains, to her endless Netflix projects and Spotify rants, Meghan's playbook has been the same: attack, accuse, and then retreat into victimhood when challenged. Yet, the public's patience has worn thin. The British public booed her at the Platinum Jubilee, and polls consistently show her plummeting approval ratings both in the UK and the US. Even Hollywood, once her golden ticket, has begun quietly distancing itself from the Sussex circus. So, when Meghan appeared on Graham Norton's show, she believed she would be protected by her usual glossy narrative. What she didn't anticipate was Helen Mirren, a woman who represents everything Meghan wishes she could be. Helen is respected, beloved, admired for her talent, and unapologetically honest. She has earned her place in British culture the hard way, through decades of dedication, discipline, and authenticity. And that authenticity is precisely what Meghan Markle lacks. When Helen began speaking, she didn't sound rehearsed. She wasn't pandering. She was reflecting a sentiment that millions of people already share, but few dare to voice in front of Meghan herself. The audience leaned forward, sensing that a line was about to be crossed. Meghan smiled tightly, perhaps assuming Helen's comment would be playful, maybe even complimentary. Instead, it was a scalpel to her ego. Helen's words addressed Meghan's calculated disconnection from tradition, her obsession with fame, and her inability to respect the institution she once married into. It was as though Helen had taken the entire public frustration with Meghan and distilled it into one precise, brutal truth. Graham Norton, known for his quick wit, didn't step in to soften the blow. If anything, his reaction suggested agreement. The audience laughed, clapped, and gasped, their reaction only amplifying Meghan's discomfort. The power of the moment wasn't just in the words themselves, but in the context. This wasn't tabloid gossip. This wasn't an anonymous palace insider. This was Helen Mirren, Dame Helen Mirren, speaking aloud what many have thought, but few dared to say directly to Meghan Markle's face. And here's the curiosity loop that kept the world buzzing. Was Helen simply voicing her own opinion? Or was she reflecting an unspoken truth about how the broader British establishment truly views Meghan? Now we close the loop, delivering on the promise made in the title. The brutal comment Helen Mirren made on Graham Norton's stage was this: respect is earned, not demanded. The crown doesn't bend for celebrity, it outlasts it. Those words cut deeper than any tabloid headline. They dismantled Meghan's entire strategy of leveraging her royal title for Hollywood power. The audience reaction confirmed it. The public is no longer charmed by Meghan's victim narrative, they are exhausted by it. Meghan sat frozen, her rehearsed smile cracking under the weight of Helen's words. Graham Norton, smirking, simply added fuel to the fire by quipping, "Well, I think Helen just said what we were all thinking." The audience roared, and Meghan, for the first time in her carefully staged public appearances, looked genuinely shocked. Not defiant. Not victimized. Just exposed. The brutal beauty of Helen's comment lies in its permanence. Unlike Meghan's fleeting PR stunts, Helen's words will be replayed, quoted, and remembered. They encapsulate a broader cultural truth, that Meghan Markle's endless crusade for sympathy and status cannot compete with authenticity, legacy, and earned respect. And that is why this night on Graham Norton will be remembered not for Meghan's appearance, but for Helen Mirren's devastating honesty. Meghan came expecting control. Instead, she left with humiliation, a reminder that in the eyes of Britain's icons, she will never be the star she longs to be.